In the vast expanse of the Milky Way, countless stars twinkled like diamonds scattered across black velvet. Among these stars, advanced alien civilizations thrived, forming alliances and governing bodies. The most powerful of these was the Galactic Council, a gathering of the galaxy's most technologically advanced races. The Council met in a grand space station that orbited a neutral star. This station was a marvel of engineering, its sleek design a testament to the combined genius of 100 alien races. Inside, representatives from all corners of the galaxy discussed matters of great importance. On this particular day, the council chamber buzzed with activity. Aliens of all shapes and sizes moved about, their translators working overtime to keep up with the dozens of languages being spoken. Some had tentacles, others had multiple eyes, and a few were even gaseous beings contained in special suits. At the center of the chamber stood Zaxlor, the current head of the council. He was tall and slender, with iridescent scales covering his body and large, cat-like eyes that seemed to glow with an inner light. Zaxlor raised his four-fingered hand, and the chamber fell silent. "Esteemed members of the Galactic Council," he began, his voice amplified by the room's acoustics, "we have gathered today to discuss a matter of some curiosity." He paused for effect, his eyes sweeping across the room. "Our long-range sensors have detected increased activity from a small blue planet in a backwater system. The natives call it Earth." A murmur rippled through the assembled aliens. Earth was known to them, but barely. It was considered a primitive world, home to a species that had only recently discovered how to split the atom and send crude rockets into their own orbit. Grix, a bulbous creature with multiple eye stalks, spoke up. "Why should we care about such an insignificant world? They're centuries behind us in technology. They can barely leave their own atmosphere." Several council members nodded in agreement. Earth was of no consequence to them. They had dismissed it as a potential threat or ally long ago. Zaxlor held up a hand for silence. "While it's true that Earth's technology is primitive compared to ours, our sensors have detected an alarming rate of advancement. In the last century alone, they've progressed from horse-drawn carriages to rudimentary spaceflight. This news caused another stir in the chamber. Such rapid advancement was unusual, even in the grand scheme of galactic evolution. "So what?" demanded Krell, a being made of living crystal. His voice rang out like chimes in a breeze. "Let them advance. By the time they reach a level where they could interact with us, we'll be even further ahead." Zaxlor shook his head, his scales shimmering with the movement. "You misunderstand, Krell. The rate of their advancement is exponential. If it continues at this pace, they could become a significant power in the galaxy within a few of their centuries." The council chamber erupted into chaos. The idea that a primitive species could advance so quickly was unheard of. Some members scoffed at the notion, while others demanded immediate action. Amidst the commotion, a small gray alien with large black eyes stood up. This was Nyx, representative of the Zeta Reticulans, known for their analytical minds and cautious nature. "Perhaps," Nyx said, his high-pitched voice cutting through the noise, "we should send an observation team to Earth. We can gather more data and make an informed decision." Zaxlor nodded approvingly. "A wise suggestion, Nyx. However, given the potential threat, I believe we need to take more decisive action." From the back of the chamber, a deep, rumbling voice spoke. It belonged to Drac, leader of the warrior race known as the Krell. The Krell were feared throughout the galaxy for their military might and aggressive expansion. "If these humans pose a potential threat," Drac growled, "then we should eliminate them now, while they're still weak. My fleet stands ready to cleanse their world." A hush fell over the chamber. The Krell were known for their brutality, and the idea of wiping out an entire species didn't sit well with many council members. Zaxlor frowned. "That seems extreme, Drac. We are not in the business of genocide." But Drac was not to be deterred. He stood up, his massive form towering over the other council members. "You speak of caution and observation, but I speak of action. The humans are advancing too quickly. They are unpredictable. Dangerous. We should strike now, before they become a real threat." The council members looked at each other uneasily. Drax's words, while harsh, held a certain logic. The galaxy had seen its share of wars, and many of them had started because a powerful civilization had underestimated a rising power. Zaxalor stroked his chin thoughtfully. Your concerns are noted, Drac, but surely there must be a middle ground between passive observation and outright destruction. Nix spoke up again. What if we were to test them? We could send a small force, not to destroy, but to gauge their capabilities. If they prove to be as primitive as we believe, it would put our fears to rest. And if they show unexpected strength, he left the thought unfinished. The council members murmured among themselves. This idea seemed to strike a balance between caution and action. Drac snorted, a sound like grinding rocks. A test? Fine. But when they fail, and they will fail, my fleet will be ready to finish the job. Zaxalor raised his hands for silence. We shall put it to a vote. All in favor of Nix's proposal to test the humans' capabilities, raise your appendages. A forest of tentacles, arms, and other alien limbs rose into the air. The motion was carried by a clear majority. Very well, Zaxalor announced. We shall proceed with the test. Drac, you may prepare a small force for this mission. Remember, this is not an extermination. We are merely assessing their strength. Drac grunted in acknowledgement, but there was a gleam in his eyes that suggested he had his own plans. As the council members began to disperse, discussing the decision among themselves, none of them gave much thought to the actual inhabitants of Earth. To them, humans were just another primitive species, barely worth noticing. Little did they know that on that small blue planet, a species with an indomitable spirit and a knack for survival was about to face its greatest challenge. The humans, blissfully unaware of the cosmic forces aligning against them, went about their daily lives. They argued about politics, fell in love, pursued their dreams, and looked up at the stars with wonder. In their arrogance, the Galactic Council had made a grave miscalculation. They had dismissed humanity as weak, forgetting that even the smallest creatures can possess incredible strength when cornered. They had no idea that their actions were about to awaken a sleeping giant, one that would soon make the galaxy tremble. As Drac left the council chamber, already planning his test of Earth's defenses, a chill seemed to pass through the station. It was as if the very fabric of space-time shuddered, sensing the monumental events that were about to unfold. The stage was set. The players were in position, and in the grand cosmic drama that was about to begin, humanity would soon show the galaxy why it should never be underestimated. The day started like any other on Earth. People went about their daily routines, unaware of the looming threat from the stars. In New York, Tokyo, London, and countless other cities, millions of humans lived their lives, their greatest worries being mundane things like work deadlines or what to have for dinner. High above the planet, hidden from Earth's primitive detection systems, Drac's fleet arrived. The Krell warships were massive, each one the size of a small moon. Their dark, angular shapes blotted out the stars as they moved into position around the unsuspecting blue world. On the bridge of his flagship, Drac surveyed the planet with disdain. Pathetic, he growled. They don't even know we're here. He turned to his second-in-command. Begin the attack. Let's see how these primitives handle a real threat. The first sign that something was wrong came when satellites around the world suddenly went dark. TV broadcasts cut out, cell phones lost signal, and the internet ground to a halt. For a few minutes, there was confusion and mild annoyance. Then, the sky lit up. Beams of intense energy lanced down from the Krell ships, striking major cities around the globe. The attacks were precise, targeting military installations, government buildings, and key infrastructure. Drac had no intention of destroying the planet. This was, after all, supposed to be a test. But he wanted to show these humans the futility of resistance. In Washington, D.C. President Sarah Chen was rushed to a secure bunker. As reports flooded in from around the world, she struggled to comprehend the situation. Aliens? She asked incredulously. Are you sure? Her military advisor, General Jackson, nodded grimly. Yes, Madam President. We're under attack by forces that are clearly not of this Earth. President Chen steeled herself. What are our options? We're blind without our satellites, General Jackson explained. but we're mobilizing every available unit. Air Force, Navy, Army, everyone's on high alert. We're also reaching out to other world leaders to coordinate a global response. Meanwhile, in cities around the world, panic set in as people realized they were under attack. But amidst the chaos, something unexpected happened. Instead of crumbling, humanity began to rally. In New York, firefighters rushed into burning buildings, risking their lives to save others. In London, ordinary citizens helped evacuate wounded people from damaged areas. In Tokyo, tech experts worked frantically to restore communications, jerry-rigging systems to get around the destroyed infrastructure. Drac watched all of this with growing frustration. "Why aren't they surrendering?" he snarled. "Increase the attack." More energy beams rained down, but now Earth was starting to fight back. Military bases that had survived the initial assault launched everything they had. Fighter jets screamed into the sky, unleashing missiles at the alien ships. They seemed pathetically small against the massive Krell warships, but the pilots pressed their attacks with fierce determination. To everyone's surprise, some of the missiles got through. Explosions blossomed on the hulls of the Krell ships. The damage was minimal, but it was something no one had expected, least of all Drac. "Impossible," he roared. "How are their primitive weapons penetrating our shields?" What Drac didn't know was that Earth's militaries had been preparing for this day for decades. Ever since the Roswell incident, governments around the world had secretly been developing weapons designed to combat potential alien threats. These weapons, kept hidden from the public, were now being unleashed. In a hidden base in the Nevada desert, Dr. Emily Wong activated a device that looked like a large satellite dish. It emitted a pulse of energy that was invisible to the naked eye, but played havoc with the Krell ship's systems. Suddenly, the alien vessels found their targeting systems malfunctioning and their shields fluctuating. Drac's ship rocked as another missile struck home. "What's happening?" he demanded. His tech officer worked frantically at his console. "Unknown, sir. Some kind of interference is affecting our systems." On the ground, humanity's resistance was gaining momentum. In Russia, a team of hackers managed to breach the alien communication systems, flooding them with nonsense data. In India, scientists quickly analyzed the alien energy weapons and began developing countermeasures. In Brazil, a civilian astronomer used a homemade telescope to identify weak points in the Krell ship's design, information that was quickly passed on to military forces. President Chen, emerging from her bunker, addressed the nation and the world. "People of Earth," she said, her voice steady despite the chaos around her. "We are facing the greatest threat in human history, but we will not go quietly into the night. We will fight and we will survive. Together, united as one people, we will show these invaders that humanity is not to be underestimated." Her words, translated and broadcast around the globe, ignited a fire in the hearts of billions. People who had been cowering in fear now stood up, ready to fight in whatever way they could. In orbit, Drac was facing a mutiny. "We must retreat," his second-in-command insisted. This was supposed to be a simple test, not a full-scale war. Drac's face contorted with rage. "Coward! We are the Krell. We do not retreat!" But even as he spoke, more of his ships were taking damage. The humans' weapons, while not as advanced, were proving surprisingly effective when combined with their interference technology and sheer numbers. On Earth, a cheer went up as people saw the first Krell ship fall from the sky. It crashed into the Atlantic Ocean, sending up a massive plume of water. The sight gave new hope to the defenders, who redoubled their efforts. In a secret facility in Japan, a team of engineers put the finishing touches on a weapon they had been developing for years. It was a massive electromagnetic pulse generator designed to disable electronic systems over a vast area. They aimed it at the largest concentration of Krell ships and fired. The pulse shot out, invisible but incredibly powerful. When it reached the Krell fleet, ships began to go dark, their systems overloaded by the unexpected attack. Drac watched in horror as his fleet began to drift helplessly in space. "No," he whispered. "This is impossible. They're savages, primitives, but the evidence was undeniable. Against all odds, humanity was winning." As the remaining functional Krell ships began to retreat, a massive celebration broke out on Earth. People poured into the streets, hugging strangers and cheering their unexpected victory. In the White House, President Chen allowed herself a small smile. "Get me the UN," she said to her staff. "It's time we showed the galaxy what humanity is really capable of." As news of the Earth's victory spread across the galaxy, the members of the Galactic Council were stunned. They had grossly underestimated this young species, and now they faced a new and unpredictable player on the galactic stage. Humanity had passed the test, but the real challenges were just beginning. As the people of Earth began the process of rebuilding, they also started preparing. They knew now that they weren't alone in the universe, and they were determined to be ready for whatever came next. The age of Earth's isolation was over. Humanity had announced its presence to the galaxy in the most dramatic way possible, and nothing would ever be the same again. In the months following humanity's unexpected victory against the Krell invasion, Earth was buzzing with activity. The initial euphoria of survival had given way to a determined focus on the future. Humanity now knew it wasn't alone in the universe, and it was painfully aware of how vulnerable it had been. Never again would Earth be caught unprepared. In a vast underground complex beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Emily Wong stood before a holographic display of a Krell warship. The ship had been pieced together from wreckage salvaged from around the world. Its sleek, dark form slowly rotated in the air, sections highlighted and expanded to show internal components. As you can see, Dr. Wong explained to the assembled group of scientists and military personnel, "The Krell technology is far beyond our current capabilities. But it's not magic. It's science, and we can understand it." General Jackson, who had been instrumental in coordinating Earth's defense, leaned forward. "How long until we can replicate some of this tech?" Dr. Wong smiled. "That's the exciting part. We've already made significant breakthroughs. The alien materials and energy systems are providing insights that are revolutionizing multiple fields of science. Around the world, similar scenes were playing out. In Beijing, a team of engineers had successfully reverse-engineered the Krell's anti-gravity technology. In Moscow, physicists were unlocking the secrets of the aliens' faster-than-light communication systems. And in a secret facility in the Sahara, weapons developers were creating Earth's first energy weapons based on Krell designs. But it wasn't just military technology that was advancing. The insights gained from alien tech were spilling over into civilian sectors. In hospitals around the world, doctors marveled at new medical devices that could heal injuries in minutes. In universities, students worked with AI systems that made Earth's most advanced computers look like calculators in comparison. In orbit, construction had begun on Earth's first true space station. Unlike the small, cramped structures of the past, this was a massive facility designed to house thousands of people and serve as humanity's first line of defense against future invasions. President Chen stood at a podium addressing a global audience. Behind her, a massive screen showed real-time footage of the space station's construction. "My fellow citizens of Earth," she began, "we stand at the dawn of a new era. The attack we survived has united us as never before. Together we are taking our first steps into the galactic community." She paused, her eyes scanning the crowd. "But we must remember that with great power comes great responsibility. We will not use our new capabilities to conquer or oppress. We will reach out to the stars with open hands, ready for peace." But her voice hardened. "We will also be prepared to defend ourselves with unmatched strength if necessary." The crowd erupted in cheers. Humanity had tasted victory, and now it was hungry for more. Not conquest, but the conquest of knowledge, of space, of their own limitations. In Japan, a young engineer named Hiroshi Tanaka put the finishing touches on a new type of engine. It was small, no bigger than a car engine, but it held the promise of revolutionizing space travel. With this, he explained to his colleagues, "We can reach Mars in days instead of months." The next few years saw advancements that would have seemed like science fiction just a short time ago. Cities began to transform as new technologies were integrated in. That could fly became a common sight in the skies of major metropolitan areas. Holographic communications replaced smartphones, allowing people to converse as if they were in the same room, even when separated by thousands of miles. But perhaps the most significant advancement came in the field of energy. In a breakthrough that stunned the scientific community, a team of researchers in India successfully created a stable fusion reactor. This clean, nearly limitless source of energy promised to end humanity's dependence on fossil fuels and revolutionize every aspect of society. Dr. Amrita Patel, the lead researcher on the fusion project, addressed a press conference. "This isn't just about powering our homes or our cities," she explained. "With this level of energy output, we can power starships. Humanity is now ready to reach out and touch the stars." As Earth's technology leap continued, the first diplomatic contacts were made with other alien races. To everyone's surprise, many of these species were far more welcoming than the Krell had been. They were curious about the young race that had so decisively defeated one of the galaxy's most feared warrior cultures. In a historic moment, the first human ambassador stepped onto the floor of the Galactic Council. The assembled alien representatives watched with a mixture of curiosity and apprehension as President Chen addressed them. "Esteemed members of the Galactic Council," she began, her voice steady and confident. "We come before you not as conquerors, nor as supplicants. We come as equals, ready to take our place among the stars." The council chamber buzzed with excited conversation. This was unprecedented. Never before had a species advanced so quickly from near destruction to standing as a potential galactic power. Back on Earth, the leap in technology was changing society in profound ways. With abundant clean energy and advanced automation, poverty and hunger were becoming things of the past. People were free to pursue their passions, leading to an explosion of art, music, and scientific research. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. The rapid changes brought challenges as well. Some people struggled to adapt to the new technologies. There were concerns about privacy as AI systems became more prevalent. And there were heated debates about how to use humanity's new power responsibly. In a classroom in Nairobi, a teacher named Grace Ochieng used a holographic display to show her students the known galaxy. "We've come so far," she told the wide-eyed children, "but we have so much further to go. The universe is vast and we're just beginning to explore it." One of the students raised her hand. "Miss Ochieng, do you think we'll ever meet friendly aliens?" Grace smiled. "We already have, Nia, and I believe we'll meet many more. Our job is to make sure we're the kind of neighbors they'll be happy to have." As the class continued, a Krell ship passed quietly through the outer reaches of the solar system. But this wasn't an invasion force. It was a diplomatic mission, come to formally apologize for the attack and to open negotiations with the surprising new power that had emerged in the galaxy. Earth had taken its first steps into a larger universe. The technological leap had transformed not just its capabilities, but its very identity. Humanity was no longer alone, no longer vulnerable. It stood ready to face whatever challenges the cosmos might bring, armed with knowledge, unity, and an indomitable spirit of exploration. As night fell around the world, people looked up at the stars with new eyes. Those distant points of light were no longer just beautiful mysteries. They were destinations, future homes, new frontiers to explore. Earth's great leap had begun, and there was no telling where it might lead. 5 years had passed since the Krell invasion, and Earth had transformed beyond recognition. The once vulnerable planet was now a fortress, bristling with advanced defenses and home to a united, technologically advanced human race. But humanity wasn't content to simply defend. They were ready to take the fight to the stars. In a massive hangar beneath the Atlantic Ocean, the pride of Earth's new fleet was nearing completion. The EFS Avenger, humanity's first true interstellar warship, gleamed under the bright lights. At over a kilometer long, it dwarfed anything humanity had built before. Admiral Sarah Chen, once the president who had led Earth through the invasion, now stood on the bridge of the Avenger. She looked out at the busy crew, a mix of humans and AI avatars, all working in perfect harmony. "Status report," she commanded. Her XO, a tall man named Marcus, stepped forward. "All systems are green, Admiral. The Alcubierre drive is online and stable. Weapons, shields, and stealth systems are at 100%. We're ready for our first mission. Chen nodded, a grim smile on her face. Then it's time. Set course for the Krell homeworld. As the Avenger rose from its underwater berth, other ships joined it. A fleet of smaller, agile fighters and support vessels took formation around the massive flagship. Together, they streaked into the sky, breaking free of Earth's atmosphere in seconds. On the bridge of the Avenger, Chen addressed her crew, and, through them, all of humanity. For 5 years, we prepared for this day. We're not seeking vengeance, but justice. We go to show the Krell, and the entire galaxy, that humanity is a force to be reckoned with. With a flash of light that momentarily outshone the sun, the Earth fleet engaged its Alcubierre drives. In an instant, they were gone, streaking across the galaxy at speeds that would have been unimaginable just a few years ago. The journey to the Krell homeworld took mere days. As they approached, tension on the bridge of the Avenger was palpable. They dropped out of faster-than-light travel on the edge of the Krell system, immediately activating their advanced stealth systems. "Scan the system," Chen ordered. The results came back quickly, displayed on a massive holographic projection. The Krell homeworld was there, a massive, fortified planet surrounded by orbital defenses and a sizable fleet. Marcus studied the display with a frown. "Their defenses are formidable, Admiral. This won't be easy." Chen nodded. "We didn't come here for easy, Marcus. We came here to make a statement." As they watched, alarms suddenly blared across the bridge. "We've been detected!" a young officer shouted. Chen remained calm. It was bound to happen. "Commence Operation Thunderbolt." Across the human fleet, ships sprang into action. Fighters poured out of hangar bays, while larger vessels moved into attack formation. The Avenger itself began to glow with energy as its main weapon charged. The Krell were caught off guard. They had grown complacent, believing their homeworld to be unassailable. By the time they realized the threat, it was too late. The human fleet struck with a precision and coordination that would have been impossible without their advanced AI systems. Fighters darted between Krell ships, their energy weapons slicing through shields and armor. Larger human vessels engaged the Krell capital ships, matching them blow for blow. On the Krell homeworld, Drac, the commander who had led the failed invasion of Earth, watched in disbelief as the battle unfolded. "Impossible," he growled. How could they have advanced so quickly? But the evidence was undeniable. The humans weren't just holding their own, they were winning. The tide of the battle turned decisively when the Avenger unleashed its main weapon. A beam of energy, so bright it was painful to look at, lanced out from the ship. It cut through the Krell's orbital defenses like they were made of paper, leaving a gap in their lines. "All ships, push through," Chen ordered. "Landing teams, prepare for deployment." As the space battle raged on, human dropships slipped through the gap in the Krell defenses. They streaked through the atmosphere, landing in key locations around the Krell capital city. Among the first to land was a team led by Dr. Emily Wong, the scientist who had been instrumental in reverse engineering Krell technology. But she wasn't here to fight. Her mission was different. As Krell warriors rushed to repel the human invaders, Wong and her team slipped into a massive structure that housed the Krell's central database. With the help of advanced hacking tools and AI assistance, they began to download everything they could. "We're not here to destroy," Wong muttered as she worked. "We're here to understand." Back in space, the battle was reaching its climax. The Krell fleet was in disarray, outmaneuvered and outgunned by the human forces. Chen watched from the Avenger's bridge as enemy ships either fled or surrendered. "Admiral," Marcus reported, "we're receiving a transmission from the Krell leadership. They're asking for terms of surrender." A hush fell over the bridge. This was it. The moment of victory. Chen took a deep breath. "Put them through." The holographic display shifted, showing the face of the Krell leader. It was Drac, looking older and far less confident than he had during the invasion of Earth. "Humans," he began, his voice a mix of anger and resignation. "You have bested us. Name your terms." Chen's response was calm but firm. "Unconditional surrender, Drac. Your fleet is to stand down immediately. You will submit to occupation by human peacekeeping forces, and you will agree to face trial for your unprovoked attack on Earth." Drax's face contorted with rage, but he knew he had no choice. "Agreed," he spat. As word of the Krell surrender spread, celebrations broke out across the human fleet. But Chen remained focused. "This isn't over," she reminded her crew. "Landing teams secure key locations. We need to ensure the Krell comply with the terms." On the surface, Wong and her team had completed their mission. They had downloaded terabytes of data from the Krell databases, information that would provide invaluable insights into Krell society, technology, and the wider galactic community. As human forces secured the Krell capital, Chen made another broadcast, this time to the entire galaxy. To all sentient beings who can hear this message, let it be known that humanity stands ready to defend itself and its allies. We do not seek conflict, but neither will we shy away from it. We extend an open hand of friendship to all peaceful species. But to those who would threaten us, be warned. The people of Earth are not to be trifled with. The message streaked across the galaxy, carried by faster-than-light communications. In the chambers of the Galactic Council, representatives of 100 alien races watched in stunned silence. The humans, a species they had dismissed as primitive just a few years ago, had defeated one of the most powerful warrior races in the galaxy. As the dust settled on the Krell homeworld, humanity began the complex task of peacekeeping and reconstruction. They had won a great victory, but Chen and the other leaders knew that this was just the beginning. Earth had announced its presence on the galactic stage in the most dramatic way possible. Now came the hard part, building a lasting peace and finding their place among the stars. The counteroffensive was over, but humanity's journey was just beginning. The great hall of the Galactic Council buzzed with nervous energy. Representatives from hundreds of alien species filled the chamber, their voices a cacophony of different languages. Today was no ordinary meeting. For the first time in galactic history, a new species was being admitted to the Council humanity. At the center of the hall stood Admiral Sarah Chen, now serving as Earth's first galactic ambassador. Beside her was Dr. Emily Wong, whose scientific brilliance had been crucial in humanity's rapid advancement. They were flanked by a diverse group of humans, each an expert in their field, ready to represent Earth on the galactic stage. Zaxalor, the Galactic Council leader who had once dismissed humanity as primitive, called for silence. The chamber grew quiet as all eyes turned to him. "Esteemed members of the Council," Zaxalor began, his voice echoing through the hall, "we gather today to witness an unprecedented event. Never before has a species progressed so rapidly from near destruction to becoming a major galactic power." He turned to face Chen and her team. "Humans of Earth, you have shown remarkable resilience, ingenuity, and courage. Your defeat of the Krell and your subsequent actions in stabilizing their empire have demonstrated that you are ready for the responsibilities of Council membership." Chen stepped forward, her posture straight and confident. "On behalf of humanity, we are honored to join this august body. We come seeking friendship and cooperation, ready to contribute our unique perspectives to galactic affairs." As Chen spoke, murmurs rippled through the crowd. Many were curious about these newcomers, while others were wary. The humans' rapid rise had upset the balance of power that had existed for millennia. In the back of the chamber, a group of Krell representatives watched with a mix of resentment and grudging respect. Their once mighty empire was now under human stewardship, being rebuilt along more peaceful lines. After the formal acceptance ceremony, the real work began. Humanity had much to learn about galactic politics, but they also had much to offer. Dr. Wong presented humanity's latest scientific advancements to an eager audience of alien scientists. "Our fusion technology has opened up new possibilities for clean, abundant energy," she explained. "We're eager to share this knowledge for the benefit of all species." Meanwhile, in another part of the council complex, human diplomats were hard at work. They were negotiating trade agreements, cultural exchange programs, and mutual defense pacts with dozens of alien races. Not everyone was thrilled with humanity's new role, however. A group of conservative council members, led by the crystalline beings known as the Tsar, voiced their concerns. The humans are too young, too unpredictable, the Tsar representative argued. They wield power they barely understand. How can we trust them with the fate of the galaxy? Chen, overhearing this, approached the group. We understand your concerns, she said calmly. It's true that we're new to the galactic stage, but consider this: our very youth gives us a fresh perspective. We're not bound by millennia of tradition and old conflicts. We can see solutions where others might see only problems. Her words gave the skeptics pause. The humans had, after all, managed to do what no other race had done. They had reformed the warlike Krell into peaceful members of the galactic community. As the council session continued, news arrived that sent shock waves through the assembly. A distant probe had detected a massive fleet of unknown origin approaching from intergalactic space. This fleet dwarfed anything the council races had ever encountered. Panic began to spread. Many of the older races, comfortable in their long-standing peace, were ill-prepared for such a threat. It was Chen who stepped up, her military experience coming to the fore. "We've faced extinction before and survived," she declared, her voice cutting through the chaos. "Humanity stands ready to help defend our new galactic family." Her words rallied the council. Under humanity's guidance, a plan began to take shape. Earth's advanced AI systems were put to work, analyzing the approaching fleet and devising strategies. Dr. Wong led a team of multi-species scientists in upgrading the council's defensive capabilities. Human diplomatic corps worked tirelessly to unite the often fractious council members into a cohesive alliance. As the unknown fleet drew closer, the galaxy held its breath. The combined forces of the council, led by human tacticians, took up defensive positions. Advanced human sensors probed the approaching ships, seeking any sign of their intentions. Then, to everyone's surprise, the fleet halted just outside the galaxy's edge. A transmission was received, in a language so ancient that only the oldest council races could understand snippets of it. As linguists worked frantically to decipher the message, Chen made a bold decision. "We should attempt direct contact," she proposed. Not with weapons, but with an open hand. Despite objections from more cautious council members, Chen's plan was put into action. The Avenger, now serving as a diplomatic vessel, approached the alien fleet. Chen herself led the mission, along with representatives from other council races. As they neared the massive alien ships, tension on the Avenger's bridge was palpable. Then suddenly, a beam of light engulfed their ship. For a moment, everyone feared the worst, but it wasn't an attack. It was a form of communication. In an instant, Chen and her team found their minds linked with the aliens. They were ancient beyond imagining, explorers from another galaxy who had been traversing the cosmos for millions of years. They had come not to conquer, but to meet new life and share knowledge. The contact lasted only moments, but it changed everything. When Chen and her team returned to the council, they brought with them insights that would propel galactic civilization to new heights. In the years that followed, a new era of peace and discovery dawned. Humanity, with its unique blend of innovation, adaptability, and courage, found itself at the center of this new galactic order. Earth became a hub of interstellar culture and commerce. The Sol system was transformed, with massive space habitats orbiting every planet, and terraforming projects underway on Mars and Venus. Human ships ventured into the vast unknown regions of the galaxy, making new discoveries and contacting isolated civilizations. Earth's education system became renowned throughout the galaxy, with alien students flocking to human universities to learn the arts of innovation and adaptability that humanity had perfected. Yet with all their advances, humans never forgot the lessons of their past. They remained vigilant, always ready to defend their new galactic family. They also remained explorers at heart, always pushing the boundaries of the known. In the Great Council Hall, a new mural was unveiled, depicting the key moments of recent galactic history. At its center stood a group of humans, reaching out to the stars, surrounded by a diverse array of alien allies. Zaxalor, now nearing the end of his long tenure as council leader, stood before this mural with Chen. "You humans continue to surprise us," he mused. "Who would have thought? when we first detected your primitive radio signals that you would come to play such a crucial role in the galaxy." Chen smiled, her gaze fixed on the image of Earth in the mural. "We've come a long way," she agreed. "But our journey is far from over. The galaxy is vast, and beyond it lies an entire universe to explore. Humanity's greatest adventures are still to come."